Welcome in to PDL Weekly. My name's Nicholas Murray. Very pleased to be joined by PDL Senior Director Ryan Brooks as we take a look ahead to this weekend's conference championships. We had 5 games on Tuesday night, finalising the final 16, and we're going to start off, I think, with the Eastern Conference, where we had 3 big games on Tuesday night. Reading United with a big win against the Baltimore Bohemians in extra time, and then the Ottawa Fury continuing their run of outstanding defensive play as they rolled past the GPS Portland Phoenix. But then the Carolina Dynamo. This is an interesting team to me. They were finalists last year. Now they're going back to Ocean City this weekend after a dramatic win against the Virginia Beach Pirates. Do the Dynamo have what it takes, or are we going to see a new champion coming out of the Eastern Conference this year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they've been a good team all year. It's going to be quite the game against Ocean City. Obviously it's going to be hosted at Ocean City, so they have the home field advantage. In that conference, really, it's really up for grabs. But just to rewind a little bit, as far as even to get into that, Baltimore obviously having to beat Ocean City. They ended up beating them 3-2 in the dying moments, and they obviously had an incredible win, and then to lose in the dying moments in the overtime to Reading yesterday was pretty difficult for them.
Big goal by Zach Kane, the goalkeeper of all people, getting Baltimore into the playoffs. But Reading, this is a team that we know their history. They've consistently been a strong team. This game against Ottawa on Saturday should be an absolute classic.
Yeah, I mean, Ottawa, has had a great season altogether, and we obviously know that Reading has too. And some would argue that the fact that the Mid-Atlantic division is one of the toughest in the whole league. So I might get some hate mail on that one, but it's arguably the best division. So it's going to be a tough test for Ottawa, but they've obviously been playing really well. 9 shutouts in a row, so they don't give up too many goals, and obviously they score a lot. With Hayworth is on fire, is scoring plenty of goals this season. So that should be quite the game.
Carl Hayworth's had a great season. He finished the regular season, I believe, with 12 goals and 12 assists, so a leading candidate for most valuable player for the league next week. As far as the Central Conference, Carl Hayworth's former team, FC London, is in there. They'll be facing off against the Real Colorado Foxes in the semi-finals. But the game that really intrigues me here is the Michigan Bucks and the Thunder Bay Chill facing off. Michigan coming through pretty convincingly in the second half against the Chicago Fire PDL in the play-in game on Tuesday. Thunder Bay, the regular season champions, after a couple of teams slipped up. They had the chance to overtake them, but the Chill are the regular season champions. And these are 2 historic franchises. It should be an absolute classic at Chapels Park.
Yeah, and once again, Thunder Bay has the home field advantage. Although this game could probably be the finals of the whole PDL. And obviously the history behind both clubs is second to none. That's a huge game for them. And then you have Real Colorado versus London, and I talked to Real Colorado today, and they're flying in today. Obviously a long flight, but they're getting in early enough, so they're able to get the jet lag out, probably get a couple training sessions in a couple days before, so they should be good to go.
The history, Thunder Bay has won the last 2 meetings against Michigan. I know Dan Duggan and the crew there will be wanting to reverse that this time around. It should be a really good game. Out west, we're off to Ventura County and got 2 really interesting games to me. The Fresno Fuego facing off against the Portland Timbers U23s, and then one of, I think, the best stories of the season with the Victoria Highlanders coming down to play what has been a perennial power in the Ventura County Fusion. Do you see one of the Northwest teams springing an upset here and moving on to the finals?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a shot for that. Victoria's had a great season, obviously great crowds, great season so far. Kind of a little bit kind of coming out of nowhere a little bit this year, but finished first in their division. Has a great season so far, and they're going to go down to Ventura and obviously see what they're made of.
As far as the Southern Conference is concerned, that's the one that gets us kicked off on Friday night, set to be held in Austin. Eboly's Army behind their Aztecs there, and they get, I think, a pretty good test with the Panama City Beach Pirates coming in for that semi-final. Also have the Laredo Heat, who held off Oklahoma City for the second place in the Mid-South, playing Ocala. We could see a rematch from last year where Ocala faced off with Austin in the semi-finals, that could be a potential final game this year for the Southern Conference title.
Yeah, it should be interesting of who comes out of those of that conference championship to make it to the finals. It's really I mean, yeah, Austin obviously has done well throughout the whole year, but those other three squads have done a really good job. You have Laredo, who really held off Oklahoma City for basically the whole season, and they did a fantastic job at the end to really hold them off and to really get that seed. And then we've seen the two Florida teams do well throughout the season, so it should be kind of a pretty wide open games so far.
For me, this is where home field advantage may come into play the most, because Austin 7-0-0 at House Park. They've been really strong there. It's going to be a big task for anyone to turn them over on their home turf. So we could be seeing Austin, after their triumphant return last year, make it to the Final Four for the first time in the club's rebooted history.
Yeah, travel will be an issue. Obviously, huge in North America. Huge amount of distances that people are going to have to go. So travel is going to be very important. Home teams will have obviously the advantage. Obviously some of the teams are going to be coming in a little bit earlier to kind of get the legs underneath them. But still, home field advantage is home field advantage, and especially you have someone like Austin. Austin, might have 1,500, 2,000 fans in that game, and they, that crowd is going to be going pretty crazy for them.
Well, you can stay up to date with that on Friday night, and you can stay up to date with all of the action throughout the weekend through the PDL's conference championships via Twitter at USLPDL. We'll also be posting previews and game reports on Facebook, so stay tuned for all of that, and we'll have a PDL championship preview this time next week. For Ryan, my name's Nicholas. We hope you join us for that, and we hope you enjoy all the action this weekend.